Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी माता जी, सभी भक्तों का आज के कार्यक्रम में स्वागत है. टुडे इज ए वेरी ऑस्पिशियस डे. इट्स कॉल्ड Basant Panchami day. And in Vrindavan it is customary that on this particular day the Lord is dressed with the yellow garments and decorated also with the yellow flowers. And from today the Holi festival, the festivities of Holi starts from today and it continues until the day of Holi. And this is the only day in the year which marks the appearance of four great personalities and the disappearance day of another great Acharya. And today is the appearance day of Vishnupriya Mataji. Today is the appearance day of Pundarik Vidyanidhi also. Today is the appearance day of Raghunandan Das Thakur, and today is also the appearance day of Raghunandan Das Goswami. And today is also the disappearance day of Srila Vishnupriya Chakravarti Thakur. It's a very, very auspicious day. This is the only day in the year where we have four devotees appearance day and one devotee's disappearance day. And these devotees are not the ordinary devotees. They are Mahabhagavatas. So today we will make an attempt to glorify these devotees very briefly. As we know, the glories of devotees are unlimited. So whatever time we have got, the time is not sufficient. So we have got an hour time, and during that 1 hour, we will try to glorify briefly each one of these devotees and meditate upon some of their pastimes. And along with it, we will read a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita also, and the purport given by Srila Prabhupada to remember Srila Prabhupada also during our Katha. So I would like to start with the glorification of Vishnupriya Mataji. Then Krishna willing, I will talk about the Raghunandan Das Thakur. Then the disappearance of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And after that I will talk about Raghunandan Das Goswami. And finally we will give viram to the Katha by glorifying Raghunandan Das Goswami. So we will start with the glories of Vishnupriya Mataji. When the Lord appears in his Vishnu Tattva, he carries the three potencies, the Shri Shakti, Bhu Shakti and Ila Shakti. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on this earth, Vishnupriya Devi manifested as a Shri Shakti. Vishnupriya Mataji was Bhu Shakti, and Nilachal Dham, Navdeep Dham, not Nilachal, it's Navdeep Dham, was a manifestation of the Leela Shakti. And in the Krishna Leela, Vishnupriya Mataji was the expansion of Satyabhama. And when Lord Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vishnupriya Mataji became a consort of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She is known as an expansion of Satyabhama in the Chaitanya Leela. Now, one thing we know that when we talk about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his close associates' pastimes, those have been given in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Then Vrindavan Das Thakur has further glorified the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, particularly his devotees, in Chaitanya Bhagavata. Then Lochan Das Thakur has written Chaitanya Mangal. Then we have Bhakti Ratnakar also. So these few granthas are there from where we get to know the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and about his devotees. So in today's kathas also, we will be talking about these great devotees from what we have got in these prominent scriptures. So it is given that Vishnupriya Mataji, she was a consort or the wife of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Leela. From the early childhood, she was a great devotee of the Lord. And she was not only the devotee of the Lord, she was the devotee to her parents as well as to the elderly people also. And it was her routine that every day morning, she will go to Ganges. Afternoon also she will go to the Ganges. Evening also she will go to the Ganges to take a bath in the Ganges. And a lot of the times she would happen to meet Shachi Mata, who is the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Leela. And whenever she sees Shachi Mata, she would offer her obeisances to Shachi Mata very respectfully. And Shachi Mata started liking Vishnupriya Mataji. And then Shachi Mata one day thought that she deserves to be the wife of my son. And then she arranged a marriage between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishnupriya Mataji. So the marriage happened, and when she came to the house of her in-laws, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house, at the doorstep of her new house, she accidentally hurt her foot, and her toe was injured and started bleeding. And in a deep pain, she bit her lip to tolerate the pain. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately pressed his toe and kept it on the toe of Vishnupriya Mataji and gazed deep into the eyes of Vishnupriya Mataji, and immediately she got relief from the pain. So she was very much happy to be in the house of her husband. And here, after the marriage, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the initiation from Ishwarapuri. And after the initiation, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he was into more and more remembrance of Krishna, very intense remembrance of Krishna. And he repeatedly thought that why he has appeared or descended on this world. And he said, I have come to this world to give the holy name to each and everyone in this world. I have come here to give the message of Srimad Bhagavatam to everyone. But most of the times, wherever he go, people would not listen to him. Then he was thinking the alternative, what are the various ways and means through which more and more people can pay attention to him. Then during that time, the sannyasis were respected a lot. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that if I take a sannyas, then hopefully more and more people would listen to me. So then he decided to take the sannyas, and rumor started spreading around, and this news reached to Shachi Mata and even his wife. So he happened to meet with his mother first, just a couple of days before proceeded with the sannyas. And Shachi Mata, we can imagine the situation of mother where the young boy is going to take the sannyas. So she was in a deep pain, and she said, she was almost unconscious, but somehow she was trying to regain her consciousness. And in that state of mind, she said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I have been surviving so far just by looking at your face after your father departed from this world. And if you leave, certainly I am going to die. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to explain her in so many ways. And then when he realized that his mata was not ready to understand in any manner, and she was repeatedly requesting and begging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to revisit his decision, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his four-handed form to his mother to tell her that I am not an ordinary child the way you are thinking. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to her that in the past you were Aditi and I came as your son. I came as your son in the form of Vamana. In another birth you were Devhuti, and that time I appeared as Kapila, you were Kaushalya, and I appeared as Lord Ramchandra. And he said, in this birth I have come here for a mission, so please let me take the sannyas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his wonderful form and passed this message to the mother, but immediately after that he covered his mother again with the illusion, and mother was again in the deep state of sorrow. And after marriage, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu most of the times, not most of the time, always he would be away from his wife. But just the day before he had to go for the sannyas, he spent one night with his wife, not to have any kind of material dealings. But since his wife Vishnupriya Mataji was in a great mood of sadness, and again she had started experiencing bad omens. Before she was going to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she went to take a bath in the Ganges, and while she was taking the bath, her foot hit a stone in the Ganges river, and her foot started bleeding. And while taking bath, she lost her nose pin, which was given to her at the time of marriage. So this was another inauspicious sign. So she was already worried, and as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered in the room, and she started crying, and she said, my Lord, you are my life, you are my beauty, you are my youth, you are my dress, you are my ornament. If you leave me, then certainly I will be worthless pile of ashes. She said, even the ashes will have some value, but my ashes will not have even the value what other ashes will get. So she begged again and again Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to not to take sannyas. And she started crying, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw her love, he also reciprocated in the same manner, and he also started crying. Srila Prabhupada always used to say, don't think the Lord does not have the feelings. The way we have the feelings, similarly Lord also has the feelings. But ye yatha man prapadante. The Lord reciprocates us the way we deal with him. So since Vishnupriya Mata was crying for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also started crying when he saw that his devotee was in such a state of grief. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Vishnupriya Mata that you are telling me all these things, but remember, Krishna is the supreme husband of everyone. He is your real husband, so you please think of him. And he said, your name is Vishnupriya, which means someone who is very dear to Vishnu. So he said, bring out the meaning of your name and engage your mind in Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I promise you that whenever you remember me, I will come and manifest myself. And with these words, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped speaking, and immediately that time Yog Maya, she came and she covered Vishnupriya Mataji and she fell into sleep. And while she was in sleep, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded with his sannyasa. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the sannyas, Vishnupriya Mata was 16 years old, young. And after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, she lived for another 74 years. But the way she lived during those 74 years, we just can't imagine the amount of sacrifices and austerities she performed. We read about the austerities performed by male, but the kind of austerity she performed, we just can't imagine. Those 74 years she did not leave her house except one time in a day to take bath in the Ganges. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, initially she gave up eating and drinking because she said, I don't want to live without my husband. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in her dream and said that you please have a deity made of wood, and the wood would come from the tree under which Shachi Mata would feed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then she got the deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made of wood, and she started worshipping, or she started seeing the deity as her husband. And in the Treta Yuga, Lord Rama made the deity of Sita Mata and did not have another woman in her life. So similarly, in this pastime, Sita Mata reciprocated, and Sita Mata in the form of Vishnupriya got the deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Acharya says it was from that time that the worship of the deity of Gauranga Mahaprabhu started in. So, after having the deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she started eating in. But how much she would eat? It is given that she would chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and she would keep 1 grain of rice aside. Then again, one time he would chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and keep 1 grain of rice aside. So till afternoon, whatever grains she collected by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, she would cook those grains, offer it to the Lord, then give it to Shachi Mata, and the rest she will see if any guest, she will offer to the guest, and then the whatever is left, very little, she would consume, she would take as a Mahaprasad of the Lord. So from this pastime, we see the mood of Lord and his devotees and the sacrifice they do when it comes to the preaching. So in this pastime, we see that the Lord as well as devotees, they both sacrificed anything and everything just for the purpose of preaching the holy name and preaching the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had two options. Instead of taking a sannyas, he could have decided that, okay, let me be a householder and have my wife, have my mother do Mangala Arati, study Bhagavatam, go in preaching whatever time I get in. And another option was that leave the mother, leave the wife. Why? Because if I take sannyas, then more number of people would be able to take the message of Lord Krishna. And he opted for a second option. He decided to take a sannyas, and he sacrificed his mother's love, he sacrificed his chaste wife's love. And not only sacrificed their love, rather he gave their sacrifice also. They were almost dead. They were breathing. They were like dead bodies, but simply breathing in the absence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And on the other side, when we look at the pastimes of Vishnupriya Mataji, for 74 years, she did not leave her house except once in a day. The amount of food she was eating, I told you that just a few grains of rice she would eat. That would be her breakfast, lunch and dinner. And she would have given up her life, but she continued to live to serve her husband's mother with full dedication, and she did it. She never had any food before she had served it to her mother-in-law, which is Shachi Mata. She never met even a single time in 74 years. Anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared much before that. But after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, once he visited Navdeep, and that time the whole Navdeep had the opportunity and fortune to take darshan of Mahaprabhu, except one personality, who was Vishnupriya Mataji. So we can imagine how much pain she tolerated just to support her husband's mission and to support her husband's vow that after I have taken sannyas, I won't see my wife. And she accepted Lord wish as a prasad. Lord wanted to take sannyas, that was his desire. So although she begged, but then dovetailed, and as Prabhupada says, her wish into the wish of the Lord. So now, this pastime, we should try to think that why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishnupriya Mataji and even Shachi Mata also sacrifice so much? They made such an unbelievable sacrifice to preach the holy name and preach the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now preach to whom? Preach to the living entities like us. So even after hearing in brief the kind of sacrifice both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishnupriya Mataji did for living entities like us, if we don't take the chanting seriously, don't take the study of Srimad Bhagavatam seriously, then certainly we should consider ourselves very much unfortunate. And this won't be pleasing to the Krishna. And on the other hand, if we take the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra seriously, study Bhagavatam seriously, then certainly Mahaprabhu and Vishnupriya Mataji would think that this sacrifice has brought some fruit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Vishnupriya Mataji ki jai. So this was in brief about Vishnupriya Mata. Now the next we will talk briefly about the glories of Sri Raghunandan Thakur. In Gaur Gana Uddeshya Deepika, it is said that Raghunandan Thakur is the expansion of Pradyumna. Like Lord Krishna expands in Balaram into the four Chaturvya, Sankarshan, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Anuruddha. So Raghunandan Thakur is an expansion of Pradyumna. And in Krishna Leela, he appeared as Krishna's best friend. So Raghunandan Thakur, he was born in the family of physicians, and his father name is Mukunda Das, who was the physician of the king at that time. So although materially he was working as a physician to the king, but still he was a very great devotee. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said that once he was treating the king, and that time he happened to see the peacock feather. And as soon as he saw peacock feather, he remembered Krishna, and he started feeling so much separation from Krishna that he got fainted. And he regained his consciousness only after a few hours. And once Mukunda Das had to go out of the village, so he called his young son, Raghunandan Thakur, that son, I have to go out of the village. Now we have the worship of Gopinathji in our house. So when I am away, please make an offering to the Gopinathji. So son said, all right, Papa. And then Mukundas left the home, and here Raghunandan Thakur brought the offering to the Lord and said, Lord, please accept it. Lord, please accept it. Lord, please accept it. And repeatedly he was asking the Lord to please accept it, very innocently. Very innocently. And when the Lord saw that he is not going to give up, then the Lord appeared and he ate the laddus, what he has brought for him. And in the evening, Mukundas returned home and asked Raghunandan Thakur that, son, you bring some prasadam from the offering, what you had made to the Lord. Raghunandan Thakur said that what prasad? Lord did not leave anything. He ate everything. Mukundas could not believe. He said, if you are hungry and if you had all the laddus, you tell me. But don't tell me a lie. He said, no, I am not telling a lie. Honestly, Lord ate everything. So the next day, Mukundas, he again pretended that he is going out of the village. Again called the son, I am going out of the village. make an offering to the Lord, and son was again happy that today again he will have the opportunity to make an offering to the Lord who has become his friend by now. So as soon as Mukundas left, Raghunandan Thakur brought laddus in the plate and asked the Lord, eat, eat, eat. And he invited the Lord, khao, khao, khao. And here the Lord appeared and he took one bite of laddu in the mouth. And as soon as he took one bite of laddu in the mouth, Mukundas appeared because he was hiding in the house. And as soon as Mukundas appeared, Lord Gopinath disappeared. And half laddu remained in his hand. And in that Srikhanda village, still there is a deity of Gopinathji who is holding half-eaten laddu in his hand. And when Mukundas saw it, he was just into ecstasy. He was already a devotee, but he never knew that his son was even a higher devotee with a higher consciousness. And that's why once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Mukund Das jokingly that today you tell me honestly that who is your father in your family? You are the father of Raghunandan Thakur or Raghunandan Thakur is your father? And Mukunda said, my Lord, Raghunandan Thakur is my father because whatever devotion I have got, I have learned from him. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard it, he was very much pleased with the humility of Raghunandan Thakur and he left the place. So from this pastime of Raghunandan Thakur, we understand what Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpa Phalam Tuyam Yume Bhaktiya Prachyati Tadam Bhakti Upratam. If anyone makes an offering to the Lord, then the Lord accepts it, provided the devotion is there. And Raghunandan Thakur exemplified it by his own example, that although he was a small boy, but very innocently, he would tell the Lord, eat, 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 khao, 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 and no mantra, no prayers, nothing. And simply a request accompanied with the love. And Lord reciprocated it. And if anybody wants to have further evidence, further proof, they can go to Srikhanda and have the darshan of the beautiful deity of Gopinathji who is still holding the half-eaten laddu in his hand. So, Srila Raghunandan Thakur ki jai. Now, the third, we will talk about the pastimes of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now, the Acharya says that the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the meaning of his name is that he revealed the path of pure devotion, and that's why he is considered identical with the Lord of the universe who is known as Vishwanatha. And since he was the foremost devotee at that time amongst all the devotees present in the devotee circle, he was given the title of Chakravarti. So he got the name Vishwanath Chakravarti, and he was born in a Brahmana family. And his father was Narayan Chakravarti and his two elder brothers, Ram Bhadra Chakravarti and Raghunath Chakravarti. They were also an exalted devotee of Lord Krishna. And his childhood was like the childhood of Prahlad Maharaja. From the early childhood, Prahlad Maharaj was not interested in anything except hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. So from his early childhood, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur got engaged in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from his two elder brothers, Ram Bhadra Chakravarti and Raghunath Chakravarti. And he is known as the Shrutidhar, means whatever he heard one time, he was able to retain that hearing and reproduce it also whenever it is required. That kind of power he was bestowed by the Lord. And he defeated a very great scholar called Digvijay Pandit, who was a quite elderly person when Vishwanath Chakravarti was a very young boy. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he took the initiation from Radharamana Chakravarti Maharaj. And as we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated Loknath Swami and Loknath Swami initiated Narottam Das Thakur. And then Narottam Das Thakur initiated another devotee called Gangarana Chakravarti, then another devotee called Krishna Charan Chakravarti, and then Radharraman Chakravarti. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he wanted to take initiation from Krishna Charan Chakravarti Maharaj. But Maharaj told him, no, I cannot give you the initiation. Better you take the initiation from my disciple. So he sent it to him, Radharam Chakravarti Maharaj. And that time he became his Diksha Guru. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he lived in Vrindavan in so many places, but particularly he lived in Radhakunda. He has written more than 25 books in Sanskrit, all Vaishnava literature. And the prominent ones are, the most prominent one, as I have heard, is the Sararth Darshani, which is the commentary. He has written the commentary on Bhagavad Gita also and written the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam also. And he delivered a wonderful service to his spiritual master. His spiritual master instructed him to write the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 verses, on the leaves of the palm tree. During those times, 500, 600 years back, there was no photocopy machine. So Radharama Chakravarti Maharaj, he wanted to have another copy of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he accepted the order of his spiritual master, and he collected the palm leaves and started copying each verse of Srimad Bhagavatam on the palm leaf. And it is said that the weather will change when he was writing the Srimad Bhagavatam. If it is a summer, then the place where he was staying, that place will experience a cool air. If it is a winter, then in his hut, while he was writing Srimad Bhagavatam on the palm leaves, he will experience the warm breeze. And when it rains, all over there would be rain, but not even a single drop would fall on those leaves where had written the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it was a big miracle which many people experienced it, and he was fortunate to do the worship of Giriraj Shila, which was given by Shankarananda Chakravarti to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed it on to Raghunandan Das Goswami, and Raghunandan Das Goswami gave it to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gave it to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And this Shila is still present in the Gokulanji temple, and it is said that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur established the worship of Gokulanji, and which is one of the 7 prominent temples in Vrindavan. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was a great preacher, and one of his important preaching was that anyone who has the necessary qualifications can be a guru. The person does not need to take sannyas. The only qualification required to be a guru is that person must be 100% Krishna consciousness. And many people opposed to it, but he remained firm in his preaching. And the devotees say that he inspired Srila Prabhupada to go to the West and preach to the Westerners and establish ISKCON. And it is said that sometime before Srila Prabhupada onboarded on Jalduta to go to US, Srila Prabhupada was reading the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the Bhagavad Gita verse 2.41, that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Eke Kuru Nandana Bahusakha Yanantasya. But Srila Prabhupada translates one who is resolute in determination. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur translated the word Vyavasayatmika Buddhi means that one who is firmed in pleasing the spiritual master, one who is firmed in carrying out the instructions of his spiritual master. That's a Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So when Srila Prabhupada read it, he got further more inspired to go and preach in the West. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructed Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Bhagavad Gita, verse 2.41, inspired Srila Prabhupada to go and preach in the West. And we know that with the blessings of all the acharyas and the message what Srila Prabhupada took from Srila Vishnupriya Chakravarti Thakur, he performed a miraculous task in the 11 years when he was on this world. So these are the few pastimes of Srila Vishnupriya Chakravarti Thakur which he manifested while he was in the world. And Srila Vishnupriya Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Now next we will talk briefly about the glories of Srila Raghunandan Das Goswami. Srila Raghunandan Das Goswami, he was a Ras Manjari in Krishna's Leela. And in Chaitanya Leela, he appeared as a very wonderful devotee of the Lord, and he is one of the 6 Goswamis, right? The prominent Goswamis in Vrindavan. And he was born again in Bengal in Saptagram in a very rich family, and his father name is Govardhan Majumdar, and his uncle dear to him Hiran Majumdar. And in his very early childhood, he happened to have the blessings of Srila Haridas Thakur. Srila Haridas Thakur, after he delivered the prostitute, he happened to visit Navdeep, and that time Raghunandan Das Goswami had the fortune to have the darshan and get the blessings of Srila Haridas Thakur. And Acharya says that since in his early childhood itself, he got the blessings of Srila Haridas Thakur, that blessings caused him to get the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after some time. So, as I said, Raghunandan Das Goswami hails from a very rich family. Rich family, not the ordinary riches. 550 years back, the annual income of the house was 800,000 rupees, which was considered a fortune, a big fortune for anyone. So, he was born in that kind of family. But he did not have any attachment at all to any of the opulence, any of the riches in the family. He was totally indifferent to those riches. And very soon he happened to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shantipura. And as it is, he did not have any attachment to any opulence, worldly opulence. But when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was amazed to see the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then, after he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not want to live in the house. And he started showing the symptoms of great ecstasy repeatedly. And when father saw it, father said, he is the only inheritant, only descendant in our house. If he becomes a sannyasi, who will take care of all this empire? So they appointed 11 people to prevent him to go and see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Navdeep, and that time in the pretext of meeting Advaita Acharya, Raghunandan Das Goswami rushed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and met him. And when he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he opened his heart and he said, "My Lord, I want to give up everything and I want to engage in your service." And although Raghunandan Das Goswami was very sincere in his heart, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu scolded him very much. And that incident is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So there are a few verses. We will read a couple of verses from there and read the purport also given by Srila Prabhupada to glorify him also in this session. And this verse is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 16 and 238. Raghunandan Das Goswami told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the core of his heart that I want to give up everything and come to your service. But what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's response? Just go one verse before Prabhu. Just we will read the translation. Just you can go back from the down itself. So see, these are the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, "Be patient and return home. Don't be a crazy fellow. By and by, you will be able to cross the ocean of material existence. And in the verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krame Krame, Paya Lok Bhava Sindhu Kula. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that you should not give up your responsibility so abruptly. Your renunciation should come slowly. And then the next verse is the beautiful verse. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Markat Vairagya na kare loka dekhana yatha yogya vishaya bhunja anasakta hana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Markat Vairagya means monkey renunciation. Na kara, do not do. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that the renunciation what you are trying to take in or you are showing, don't do it. Na kara, aisa mat karo. This is the monkey renunciation. And kara loka dekhana. Loka means people and dekhana means show off. And कहता है कि this is the show bottle renunciation, or you will become a show bottle devotee, as Prabhupada translates. And he says yatha yogya vishaya bhunja anasakta hana. He said yatha yogya, as it is befitting. Vishaya means material things, bhunja means sanjaya. Raghunandan Das Goswami wanted to renunciate everything. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the personified renunciation, he is instructing Raghunandan Das Goswami that you enjoy the material things. But how much? He said yatha yoga, as it is befitting. As it is befitting means as much as it is required. And Srila Prabhupada has explained it further in the purport. We will read it in a while just to understand that what is the meaning of real renunciation. So Prabhupada translates it that you should not make yourself a show bottle devotee and become a false renunciant. For the time being, enjoy the material world in a befitting way and do not become attached to it. And purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Can I request any one devotee to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The word Markata Vairagya, indicating false renunciation, is very important in this verse. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, in commenting on this word, points out that monkeys make an external show of renunciation by not accepting clothing and by living naked in the forest. In this way, they consider themselves renunciates, but actually they are very busy enjoying sense gratification with the dozens of female monkeys. Such renunciation is called Markata Vairagya, the renunciation of monkey. One cannot be really renounced until one actually becomes disgusted with material activity and sees it as a stumbling block to spiritual advancement. Renunciation should not be falgu, temporary, but should exist throughout one's life. Temporary renunciation or monkey renunciation is like the renunciation one feels at a cremation ground. When a man makes a dead body to the crematorium, he sometimes thinks, this is final end of the body. When I am working so hard day and night, why I am working so hard day and night? Such sentiments naturally arise in the mind of any man who goes to a crematorial ghata. However, as soon as he returns from the crematorium ground, he again engages in material activity for sense enjoyment. This is called
Shamshan Vairagya.
Markata Vairagya. In order to render service to the Lord, one may accept necessary things. If one lives in this way, he may actually become renounced. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.108, it is said.
So, Prabhuji Mataji, this is the point for us that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Yatha Yoga, as it is befitting. So, what is befitting for us? That as much as what is necessary for us. Okay, as Prabhupada will say in the translation now, that neither it should be increased unnecessarily, or neither it should be decreased also. And if we can accept only those things which are necessary for our survival, then we are a true sannyasi, we are a true renunciate. What kamasya nendriya priti labho jivete yavata. Jiva satatva jigyasa. Labho jivete yavata. We should accept as much as it is necessary for our survival, to keep our body and soul together. Yes, Prabhu.
So, yavata syat nirvaha svikuriyat tvadartavist adike
Nyunatayam
cha shevate paramarthada. The bare necessities of life must be accepted, but one should not superfluously increase his necessities, nor should they be unnecessarily decreased. One should simply accept what is necessary to help one advance spiritually. In this Durgama Sangamani, Sri Jiva Goswami comments that the word Siva Nirvaha actually means Sivasva Bhakti Nirvaha. The experienced devotee will accept
So,
only
Prabhu,
those
here
material things.
Swanirvaha. Sorry, Prabhu. Just 1 second. So, Prabhu, here Swanirvaha. Swa means own, Nirvaha means maintenance. So, one should not think that Swanirvaha means my own maintenance. Here, Srila Jiva Goswami says Swanirvaha means Swa, then Swa Bhakti Nirvaha. That Swa means my own, and Swa Bhakti Nirvaha means the maintenance of my devotion service. It's not maintaining myself, rather maintaining my devotion service. So one should accept only minimum things which are necessary to maintain our devotion service. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. The experienced devotee will accept only those material things that will help him render service to the Lord. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.256, Markada Vairagya or Falgu Vairagya is explained as follows. Prapanchikataya Vidya Hari Samandhi Vastunaha Mukshubhi Parityago Vairagyam Falgu Kataye. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Whatever is favorable for the rendering of service to the Lord should be accepted and should not be rejected as a material thing. Yukta Vairagya or defeating renunciation is thus explained.
Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjatah nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate.
Things should be accepted for the Lord's service and not for one's personal sense gratification. If one accepts something without attachment and accepts it because it is related to Krishna, one's renunciation is called Yukta Vairagya. Since Krishna is the absolute truth, whatever is accepted for his service is also the absolute truth. The word Markada Vairagya is used by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to indicate so-called Vaishnavas who dress themselves in loincloths trying to imitate Srila Rupa Goswami. Such people carry a bead bag and chant, but at heart they are always thinking about getting money. Unknown to others, these Markada Vairagyas maintain woman but extremely present themselves as renunciants. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much opposed to these Markada Vairagis or pseudo Vaishnavas.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So as Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport that the real renunciation means accepting things which are required to maintain our devotion service. And Yukta Vairagya, as Prabhupada has explained several places in his purports, Yukta Vairagya means we engage everything in the service of the Lord. The external meaning of the renunciation for many people is detachment from sense gratification. And Prabhupada say, no, that's not the renunciation. Once you detach yourself from the sense gratification, from the opulence, then you have to engage in the service of the Lord. Like in case of Raghunandan Das Goswami, he did not simply give up his royal opulences, but at the same time, he engaged himself in the intense devotional service of the Lord. bhakti pareshanu bhavo virakti anyatra cheshatrika ekakala. Prabhupada said the devotion, direct experience of the Lord and detachment from material things, all these three things will happen simultaneously if one surrenders to the Lord. So if somebody is simply detached from the material things, does not mean he is a devotee. Detachment, devotion to the Lord and experience of the Lord, all these things will come together. So Raghunandan Das Goswami was a true renunciator, and the amount of austerities he performed, we just can't believe in. As I mentioned that he wanted to renounce everything, and finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw his mood and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted him. Raghunandan Das Goswami gave up all the opulences of his house, which were like Indra's opulence. It is given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And after he gave up everything, he went to Puri, and he was with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Govinda, one of his associates, to feed him with some prasadam. So for only 5 days, Raghunandan Das Goswami took the remnants of the Lord in the house. Then on the 6th day, he went to Puri temple, he stood at the Singhdwar, and when the people who will pass by the Singhdwar, the devotees, they will distribute some prasadam, so he will have that prasadam to maintain his body. Then he realized that it's so much time has been wasted by standing and waiting for the people to give him the prasadam. Then he thought, okay, I will give to a charity house once in a day, and whatever I get, I will maintain myself with that prasadam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was watching it, on the 6th day when he did not see Raghunandan Das Goswami, he asked, where is Raghunath? The devotees told him that, okay, he is standing at the Singhdwar and collecting the alms, right, the charity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yeah, that is good. One should not be attached to the tasty food. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that he is not standing even at the Singhdwar and collecting the prasadam from the devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was even more happy. He said, standing at the door of Singhdwar and asking, waiting for the devotees to give prasadam is like a prostitute who is waiting for the people to come and gratify the senses. So he was very much pleased, and he said, Raghunandan Das has done a very right thing. He should save his time for the devotion service, and once in a day he should go and beg the alms. Right? Then after that, he stopped even begging also. And what he would do in the night, when the temple is closed and everyone has returned to the home, the shopkeepers, they would throw the Lord Jagannath's prasadam, the stale food, the stale prasadam in the drain. So Raghunandan Das Goswami would pick up those grains, would wash those grains and offer it to the Lord. And with those grains, he would maintain his body and soul together. And it is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so much happy with his mood that he would himself go and eat those grains of rice which even the cows would not like to eat. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would always see the devotion Raghunandan Das Goswami had for him. And Raghunandan Das Goswami, as it is, he was renunciate. He was the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that he would spend 21 hours a day in chanting the holy name, studying the scriptures, and glorifying the Lord. He would chant 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. And not only that, he will offer 10,000 prostrated obeisances to the Lord every day. And this is how he remained absorbed in the remembrance, in the intense remembrance of the Lord, and enjoying the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And as I mentioned to you that he would eat just the grains of rice which were thrown in the drain. But once he was sick and the physician was called in to examine him. And the physician said he has got a stomach disorder because he has eaten the sweet rice. And everybody was surprised that he never ate the sweet rice. Right? So how come the physician is telling this thing that he has eaten the sweet rice and his stomach got disturbed. So then Raghunandan Das Goswami revealed to some devotees that he was enjoying in his mind, he was enjoying the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and that time he got the prasadam of sweet rice, and his mind, he had that plate of sweet rice, and that sweet rice caused him the stomach disorder. So this is in brief about the glories of Raghunandan Das Goswami, such a wonderful devotee from the childhood, such a wonderful standard of renunciation. He is set for the person who want to be called a sannyasi, not for the people like us. And as I mentioned, even in his mind, which nobody can control, he would be absorbed all the times in the pastimes of the Krishna. And even the mind, he had the plate of prasadam which affected his material body. Srila Raghunandan Das Goswami ki jai. So now Girdhari Prabhu, it's already, I think, it's 8:45. We are left with one more devotee, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. I would like to cover it in 10 minutes because Pundarik Vidyanidhi is a very, very special devotee, and not only special, but he is a mysterious devotee also. He is a very mysterious devotee. In Krishna Leela, Pundarik Vidyanidhi was the father of Radharani. And this Chaitanya Leela, he appeared as a very pure but very mysterious devotee. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting amongst the devotees and the kirtan was going on, and suddenly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started crying and calling out the name Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So the devotees, they thought that Lord is chanting Krishna's name. Pundarik is one of the Krishna's name. But then one devotee said, no, it cannot be Krishna's name. Krishna is Pundarik. But Pundarik Vidyanidhi means it's one of the devotees of the Lord. And the devotee must be a pure devotee of the Lord because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is crying for him and calling out his name. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started shouting that, where are you, my father? Where are you, my father? And why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was calling his father? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is carrying the mood of even Radharani also. And as I mentioned, in the Krishna Leela, Pundarik Vidyanidhi was the Vishwanu Maharaj, the father of Radharani. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was shouting and saying, where are you, my father? Where are you, my father? And the devotees, they inquired from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, Mahaprabhu, who is this Pundarik Vidyanidhi? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he is such a wonderful devotee that he is a treasure house of all the good qualities which you will find in a devotee. He said he is such a great devotee that just by chanting his name, the whole world gets purified. But from his appearance, you cannot make out that he is a devotee. But he is not born, he is not present at the moment here, but soon he would be giving us his association. And then, I think there is one more incident. Yeah, while glorifying Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that although he is born in a village where 24 hours the river Ganges flows, but he has never taken a bath even a single time in the Ganges river because he thinks himself so impure that if he goes and takes a bath, the Ganges will contaminate him. So he has got that much humility and he has got so much respect for the Ganges river that he cannot see people washing the clothes in the Ganges. He cannot see the people spitting in the Ganges. He cannot see the people using oil while taking bath in the Ganges river. He always sees Ganges as a very, very pure water which has touched the lotus feet of the Lord. And although he has been near the Ganges for so many years, but he never visited Ganges. He has never touched his feet on the Ganges water because he thinks the Ganges will get contaminated by touching him. But before he starts any worship, he would sip the Ganges water to purify himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again started calling out his name and went to his trance. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired later Pundarik Vidyanidhi to visit Navdeep Dham, and with the inspiration of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Pundarik Vidyanidhi visited Navdeep. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi was not an ordinary person. He was from a very royal family, from a very rich family. So when he traveled with all his paraphernalia, like the king would have the paraphernalia, hundreds of servants and so many things for his personal use. And when he reached Navdeep, the news spread the whole Navdeep that a very opulent man and looks like a person who is always busy in gratifying his senses, enjoying the bhoga, has come to Navdeep. But in Navdeep, there was one person who knew the glories of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and that person was Mukunda Dasan, the father of Raghunandan Das Thakur I mentioned earlier. So he knew the glories of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and he got very excited that now Pundarik Vidyanidhi is here, and it's a fortune to see such a great devotee. And Mukunda Das had a friend called Gadadhar Pandit. In Panch, when we do the pranam to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we say Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadhi. So in Panch Tattva, we have one great personality, Gadadhar Pandit, the manifestation of Radharani. So Mukunda Das was the friend of Gadadhar Pandit. So when he heard about the arrival of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he went to see Gadadhar Pandit and said, Gadadhar, you know that such a great devotee has come and I am going to see him. Do you want to join me? It will be great if we can go together to see such a great devotee. And Gadadhar Pandit from the early childhood was a pure devotee of the Lord. Throughout his life he was a renunciate. And when he heard that a wonderful devotee has come to Navdeep, he was so excited and immediately both rushed to see Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Now both arrived in the place where Pundarik Vidyanidhi was staying in. Mukunda Das offered his obeisances to Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Gadadhar Pandit also offered the obeisances to Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi also offered the obeisances. Pundarik Vidyanidhi offered the proper respect and asan to both of them. Although Pundarik Vidyanidhi was elderly in the age when it compares to Mukunda Das and Gadadhar Pandit. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi inquired from Mukunda Das that who is this gentleman? He was inquiring Gadadhar Pandit. He said, this person looks like a pure devotee. His face is full of effulgence. So Mukunda Das said, my friend, he is a very wonderful devotee of the Lord. And he has attachment to nothing except to the chanting of the holy name and hearing the glories of the Lord. And here Gadadhar Pandit, he was amazed. He was amazed not with the devotion of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, but seeing the opulence of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the way he was carrying himself, the way he was sitting in. He was sitting like a prince on a red couch. He has an arm set which were made of the brass. And he has not one canopy. There were 3 canopies. Our Radha Shyam Sundar has got only 1 canopy. He had 3 canopies hanging on his head. His throne was studded with the stones. And next to his throne, there was a bed, very opulent bed, studded with the stones. He had a very big cushions. He was chewing the pan. He has a pot made of gold to spit in. And while chewing the pan, he was looking into the mirror, again on and off, and combing his hair also. And his face was decorated with the dots made of sandalwood, and there was the red marks on his forehead. So from his appearance, he looked like a cupid who is there just to gratify the senses. So Gadadhar was perplexed. He said, I have come here to take the darshan of a pure devotee, but this person doesn't look like a devotee. He is a bhogi. He is not a bhakta. And Mukundas could read the mind of Gadadhar Pandit. And Mukundas thought, what should I do to remove the doubts from the mind of my friend about this such a pure devotee? And then Mukundas chanted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is in the 3rd canto, Aho Bakiyam Stana Kalakutam. He glorified the Lord by glorifying His mercy. Aho Bakiyam Stana Kalakutam Jighansaya Payayat Apiya Sadhavi Lebhe Gatim Dhatri Uchitam Tatonyam Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Vrajim. So as soon as Mukundas recited this verse, Pundarik Vidyanidhi got into ecstasy and he started shouting that, Lord, you are so merciful. You are so merciful even to a she-demon who went to give you poison and you offered her the position of a mother. So when will you give me your mercy? When will I be able to do some service for you? When will I have some love for you? And he started shedding the tears as if the Ganges has gone into his, entered into his body. The whole room was flooded with the water and he was not able to control the pain he was experiencing, and he started tearing off his clothes and he started beating the parts of the body with the things which were around him. And there were the 10 people around him, and even those 10 people were not able to control him. And then he got fainted and he remained in that state for nearly 6 hours. And when Gadadhar Pandit saw this mood of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he started condemning himself. He said, I made such a big offense unto such a pure devotee by looking at his external appearance. And he started shedding the tears. And although he was remorse, he was feeling sorry, but he was happy also. And immediately he embraced Mukundas, that I am so grateful to you that today, because of you, I was able to have the darshan of such a pure devotee. And then he said, but I offended him by thinking in my mind that he is a bhogi. So how can I repent? And then Gadadhar Pandit said that I heard that one should accept the spiritual master in his life and serve the spiritual master. And Gadadhar Pandit said, I have not accepted anyone as my spiritual master, but I would like to accept Pundarik Vidyanidhi as my spiritual master and serve him so that one day, if he gets pleased, he would be able to forgive my offenses. And when Mukundas heard it, he was very happy. And when Pundarik Vidyanidhi regained his consciousness, Gadadhar Pandit begged his forgiveness and begged him to accept as a disciple. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi accepted Gadadhar Pandit as a disciple, and all three went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because they were all in ecstasy by having the association of each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw the Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he also was in ecstasy, and he was so happy to hear that Gadadhar Pandit had accepted Pundarik Vidyanidhi as his spiritual master. So this is the pastime, the message what we get, the message what Srila Prabhupada has given in a number of purports, that we should not judge a devotee. We should not judge a devotee. And particularly, we should not form an impression about a devotee by looking at his external appearance, by looking at the opulences he may be around him. The devotee, the greatness of a devotee depends upon the degree of his consciousness. Some people may renounce the opulence and some do not renounce the opulence. Raghunandan Das Goswami, he renounced everything and he was a great devotee. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was in the mid of opulences, But still, he was renunciate. Why? Because he was not attached to any of these things. As Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, that one should be detached, one should be in this material world, but still remain detached. As the lotus flower. Lotus flower is always in the mud, but the mud cannot touch the lotus flower. So similarly, due to our destiny, we get the distress, but we get the happiness also due to our destiny. So due to our destiny, if we are destined to have the opulence, accept them. But for what? As we read in the purport, what Prabhupada has said, accept them to engage them, to use them in the service of Krishna. Don't get attached to enjoying those things around you for your sense gratification. And when you see the people around us, don't judge them by the external appearance. Maharaj would be very much upset if a devotee goes and complains about another devotee to Maharaj. And Maharaj would always say that you don't have the right to judge anyone. Don't try to be a judge, try to be a devotee. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam also, we have many instances. Like Kardama Muni, we know the appearance of Kardama Muni when he accepted Devhuti as his wife. But later on we hear the incidents that he created a royal palace which was floating in the sky with hundreds and thousands of maids serving them. But still no attachment. Simply his wife wanted to have some pleasure for a moment, so he manifested it. Never ever got attached. As soon as the period was over, immediately he said, okay, I want to renounce everything, and he left everything. We know the pastimes of Jai Vijay and four Kumaras. Jai Vijay, they made the mistake in judging the devotion of the four Kumaras by looking at their size, age, and the appearances. And how much they had to suffer. 3 times they had to take the birth as a demons. Once, I mentioned it earlier also, but I like to narrate it again, that once Guru Maharaj was in our house in Bank of Baroda building, and he was in his room, and I was seeing the devotees were going in and out with a watch. He wanted to change his watch. And there are a number of shops down in the building. So the devotees will go, bring the watch, show to Maharaj. Maharaj will say, no, not this watch, get another watch. No, not this watch, get another watch. And I thought, why Maharaj is particular about the watch, right? Maharaj is so simple in his eating, in his clothes and everything, So why Maharaj is so much particular about the watch, And I did not get the answer until many years later when I got to know that Maharaj did not want to have any electricity touch on his body. And the watches what we get in the market have got the battery in it, and that produces electricity. And Maharaj was looking for a watch which is a mechanical watch and economical watch. We can get mechanical watch, the branded shops, but Maharaj did not want to spend the money. At the same time, Maharaj wanted a watch which is mechanical, doesn't use the battery. And when I understood it and I was repenting, in judging or speculating that why Maharaj wanted to spending so much time in getting a watch. So the point we understand from Pundarik Vidyanidhi's pastime is that we should never ever judge anyone from his external appearance. And if we do it, we may end up offending a devotee. And in this pastime, Gadadhar Pandit had an opportunity to beg forgiveness and opportunity to serve Pundarik Vidyanidhi, but we may not get the opportunity. So we have to be careful in this. So Hare Krishna, Prabhujan Mataji, thank you so much for your time. I took the liberty of spending or taking your time another half an hour, 45 minutes. But I was excited to share with you some of the glories of these wonderful devotees, thinking them that if I glorify these devotees, I'll be able to get some mercy. And at the same time, you all will also be able to get the mercy. So, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. And any devotees would like to have any comments on the glories of these devotees, they are welcome in a couple of minutes before we give viram to this session. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudeva ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Really, it was so nice. And only first point is I want to say that if you kindly, these occasions, as you wonderfully, we want to hear more and more. And many points, many lessons, and other devotees will also share. But one point, what you said at the last, and given so many examples, like misjudging, which is a very, at least for me, I can say, deep-rooted disease, and we are so much on this. You have given so many lessons. And another point I liked, I could connect. You said that Pundarik Vidyanidhi had so much respect for Ganga and his own humility that he has got so much sin that if you enter into Ganga, then Ganga will be also
contaminated.
So on that front, also you said that when he broke down, hearing that parts from Mukunda, and then his tears, he also mentioned that Ganga has entered in his body. In a sense, he respected Ganga not to enter, but Ganga was so enthusiastic to see such a exalted devotee. Ganga became entering to many points, and also you thank you so much. Let other devotees say, but thank you so much for such a nice all of this. Thank you.
So just one point I would like to mention, that whenever we enter into any body of water, we should touch the water on our forehead. When we enter into the sea, into the Ganges, or even when we go and take the shower every morning, we should touch the water to our head, because that water is Krishna's energy. So all the time we should have that much respect. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Such a wonderful class, and pronouns, Prabhuji. After a long time, I'm hearing from the wonderful devotee, our Shiksha Guru. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, you're talking about Vishnupriya Mataji. Very beginning, she got some bad omens now. So those things also practically, when we go out of something, if you come across such things, you have to avoid such activity, or you have to stop and go. How to do? What to do?
Yeah, Prabhu, I think we should do what is in our control. Now, if you are going for a meeting and some bad omen happens, right? You can't stop the meeting. We can't tell the boss, okay, some bad omen has happened, and so I cannot attend the meeting. But the things that to counteract the bad omen, the best thing we can do, we can remember Krishna, right? And carry on with our duty. And we cannot control the bad omens, right? Because due to our destiny, something bad is going to happen. Then we experience those things. Even in the Srimad Bhagavatam also, it's given that when Lord Krishna was about to depart, before his departure, all the Pandavas started experiencing the bad omens. So this is given in the scripture. This is true. But my point is that you please do what is in your control and avoid the things. What is do the things what you can do. Otherwise, just remember Krishna. That's what I can say.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Dhanavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Such a wonderful class, Prabhuji. So much glorifications of the nice devotees. But just you mentioned about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should also pay obeisances to Ganga. Even Mahaprabhu also, after taking the sannyas, when he supposed to go to Vrindavan, so by tricks of Nityananda Prabhu, who came to Advaita Prabhu's house, so before coming, so Ganga as a Jamuna, he just pray obeisances and praying the Jamuna and pray obeisances, and that he took the bath like that. So Mahaprabhu also used to pay obeisances to Ganga like that.
Yeah, probably.
And this yes, Prabhuji, the Pundarik Vidyanidhi has wonderfully said that the teaching is that we should not judge. So that is the wonderful things, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So you nicely explained. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. We cannot hear you.
Very nice pastimes, and we are all purified by hearing all great pastimes of the devotee. And when you first in the beginning you said about Vishnupriya Mataji and Sachi Mataji's sacrifices, very wonderful, no? But we never realized that our base of Krishna consciousness start from where actually? It's going back to the root of Vishnupriya Mataji and Sachi Mataji, who sacrificed their life. I mean, very young wife, and Lord left her, and mother also, he was the only son. He left for the benefit of the entire world. So it was very wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. We really enjoyed. Thank you. You have taken so much trouble to collect. I think we are all grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining the glorifications of all these devotees. And every time we hear, it carries a lot of wisdom in your class. And this class, like, we can hear n number of times. And due short of time, I'll just keep it short. One thing that very much touched to my heart that you told regarding the Vishnupriya Devi part. If we couldn't able to chant and read Srimad Bhagavatam, then really, there's no word of giving. Thank you for everything.
Then their sacrifice is a waste, Prabhu. Their sacrifice is a waste. Sajjanpriya Prabhu, I think Sajjanpriya Prabhu was here. Sajjanpriya Prabhu, Rishikesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, to have your darshan. Right?
प्रभु आपका दर्शन करके लग रहा है कि मैं बुद्धि में आ गया वापस.
नहीं प्रभु, आप ब्रजवासी हो, आपको देख लग रहा है मैं वृंदावन में हूँ, मैं, ना. So you are respectable.
और ये जो अवसर आते हैं ना प्रभु, like today's occasion, which is one of the rarest occasion we have such a wonderful devotees appearance and disappearance. And as you rightly said, Prabhu, the disappearance or the appearance is such a wonderful occasion that it teaches so many lessons to the devotees. Like we are so fallen when we hear the pastime of like Raghunandan Das Thakur, even Pundarik Vidyanidhi. The best lesson is that whatever situation you are in, whether you are in opulence or you are a pauper, your consciousness should be always Krishna consciousness. That's the best thing, Prabhu. And these lessons teach us so nicely that every situation, and Prabhupada has shown us by his practical example, whether he was in the ISKCON when it was established or when he was in storefront, he used to struggle. Every time he is fully absorbed. This observation is a must, Prabhu. And this thing is taught so nicely. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Dhanvat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Dhanvat Pranam, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the wonderful class on the Basant Panchami day and also the glorification of the great acharyas. And especially we learned from the wonderful class you have taken that the austerity of Vishnupriya Mataji and sacrifices by Sachi Mataji is so important. And also we understand from the pastime of Raghunandan Das Thakur, his natural love for Krishna is unparalleled. That is, we heard, if we take the lesson from that, and then the next takeaway is that Krishna Chaitanya Thakur's determination, and his, especially his purport, which has inspired Prabhupada, and because of Krishna Chaitanya Thakur's purport, now we are having this Prabhupada's movement, ISKCON movement, it has sprouted from the inspiration of Prabhupada from
Krishna Chaitanya
Thakur. It is exemplary that we are in Krishna consciousness, we are enjoying the benefits, the sacrifices made by Prabhupada. Prabhupada was a personification of austerity. Prabhupada was not judging any devotee, and he was personification of all the four acharyas together. That is the exemplary nature of Prabhupada, and we can understand how we should not judge a devotee, and that's what we understand from the Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And then last, what is that? Raghunandan Das Thakur. Even though so much opulence there were, he was completely austere in renunciation personified. As he spoke about that so renunciation personified, and Prabhupada was an embodiment of all these four. He was austere, he was not judging any devotee, and even though his opulence, so much opulence came from his temples, he was never attracted by those funds. And then of course he was not judging any devotee. So he was an embodiment of all these four Vaishnava acharyas. And that acharya just lived 50 years back, and how much fortunate we are in this moment. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for wonderful and enlightening verse as usual. Thank you so much. We are very much indebted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the small doubt I have on this Pundarik Vidyanidhi Prabhuji's pastime, definitely. Prabhuji, he is so much renounced, but why he was wearing and all those things, and when he is not attached also, I mean, why he was in this all three canopy and
Prabhu, on this, Prabhu, as I understand that, as I said, due to your destiny, you may get the position and the opulence. So, according to your position, you have to have those opulences around you. So, suppose a very rich man, so rich man has to carry himself in a particular way. So, that's why he was carrying, but he was not attached to any of those things. Right? And right, Prabhu. Now, suppose we go to the office, Prabhu, in the home, we are so simple, But when we go to the office, now we cannot go to the office in dhoti kurta or kurta pajama, right, Prabhu? So we have to carry according to the requirement of the situation. So probably that was the requirement. And not only with him, even with other devotees, Prabhu, there have been so many kings, like our Amrish Maharaj, right? So Amrish Maharaj was in the mid of all the opulences, correct, Prabhu? But he never got attached to any of those things. Each and every sense he engaged in Krishna service. So in case of Amrish Maharaj also, he was surrounded by all those opulence. Dhruv Maharaj, he did not want anything, but Krishna said, no, you have to enjoy here, right? So he was forced to have the opulences. So what I have understood, Prabhu, that by your restraint, we get the opulence. If we get the opulence, you use them for Krishna service instead of rejecting them, right? Prabhupada, once Prabhupada was shown a picture of a sannyasi, that people are bringing the notes, bundles of notes to the sannyasi, and sannyasi was not looking even at those notes. So when Prabhupada looked at the picture, Prabhupada told his disciples that, okay, you bring the bundle notes to me, give it to me, and I'll accept them like this, and you take my picture. So the disciples said, Prabhupada, but with this, people would misunderstand you, right? They will think that you are after the money. So Prabhupada said, no, any Lakshmi comes in, don't reject it, rather accept it and use it for Krishna service. And only devotees know how to use it for Krishna service, right, Prabhu? And suppose if Pundarik Vidyanidhi had not accepted, these opulences, then how we would learn this message that don't judge a devotee by his external opulence, right, Prabhu? Right, Prabhu? So, right? So, Pundarik Vidyanidhi is an associate of the Lord, right? The father of Radharani, not an ordinary personality, right? So, they are playing a role drama.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, thank you so much again, Prabhu. Mataji, thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Sad
news, Prabhu, that Lalita Mataji and Singapore, she passed away. The message has come. So let us chant for her actually. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.